Hello everyone, Grim here, and welcome back to the channel. Today I wanted to make a quick little video discussing a possible Five Nights at Freddy's and Fortnite collab. The second FNAF movie releases a few days following this recording, and it's safe to say I'm pretty excited. I've been a fan of the series since its inception, and have been hoping for an eventual collab with Fortnite, as they're two worlds that I hold dear. Truth be told, I started working on a much bigger video discussing this all much more in depth, diving deep into both creators' visions and guidelines, and all the ways that a collab could form. But like most things I do, it got held off until it was way too late, kinda like right now. However, if people are interested, I may revisit that idea, so let me know. But for today, I'll be specifically talking about the upcoming movie. Back in October, Fortnite went all out for their Fortnite Images event, and we saw a bunch of horror icons make their debut on the island. Jason Voorhees, Ghostface, and Art the Clown. Even Huggy Wuggy appeared, which marks Fortnite's first dip into indie horror games. This actually sparked quite a lot of debate, as Freddy's is arguably the biggest indie horror franchise out there, so why no FNAF? I won't linger on this long, but I've seen many fans say Scott doesn't want to collaborate with Epic, but he has never said this himself. On top of that, there's been two separate times where the fanbase have shown extreme desire for this collab, and even after that, he's never made a statement saying anything about it. And of course, if Scott does one day say, "Hey, it's not gonna happen, I don't want it to happen," then I think that I and the rest of the fanbase should respect that. But until then, why don't we speculate a bit? The biggest issue that I've seen people point out is that Scott only ever wants the animatronics to be depicted as innocent, only ever acting violent when the children's souls inside them are threatened. And it wouldn't make much sense for a child-possessed robot to be shooting someone with a gun, so it's safe to say the animatronics are off the table. Which then makes the obvious choice Springtrap, arguably the most important Five Nights at Freddy's character. This makes sense. He's known for violence. He's an adult. And human. Kinda. So him using a gun is no problemo. He'd fit perfectly in the world of Fortnite. Is what I wish I could say. But unfortunately there's one glaring issue. And this time, it's with Fortnite. Gore. Fortnite. Do not do gore. Blood is a big no-no. Exposed wounds? No chance. And Springtrap? He is literally a decaying body with his insides peeking out of a blood-soaked bodysuit. Fortnite isn't gonna like that, which makes you question why even make this video. There's clearly no options that would both fit within the game while also being what the fans want. Well, my hypothetical skeptical viewer, there's one character that solves these issues, a character that is both iconic to the franchise and perfectly works within both Scott and Epic's visions and guidelines. A character from the movies, like the one coming out this Friday. A character called the Yellow Rabbit. You may be typing in the comments right now, but you said Springtrap wouldn't work in Fortnite, and isn't the Yellow Rabbit just another version of Springtrap? Well, what if I told you that Yellow Rabbit is Springtrap with none of the things that bar him from being in Fortnite? He's not a decaying body, his insides are all inside, and he doesn't have any pesky blood on his suit. He's still good old William, but cleaned up for his Battle Royale debut. And isn't he perfect to release just in time for the second movie? Let me give you a rundown of what his cosmetic bundle could look like. Starting off obvious with the man himself, William Afton, the Yellow Rabbit. His base style could be the classic untouched suit. We already know that it's going to be shown off a bunch in this movie from the trailers. He looks great, and I can already see him standing in my locker. For his styles, I think the withered look from his reveal at the end of the first movie, specifically before he's bitten in two, would be a fine addition. This way, people can play as both a cute and sinister version of such an important character. My final idea for an alternate style would be a mask off so we can see Matthew Lillard's beautiful face. We already know that he's chill with his face being used from Dead by Daylight, and we want Afton fans to eat too. I'd say that's a pretty good start, but now on to backblings. I have a few ideas I want to spitball because honestly there's a lot of choices, so let's start off with a Freddy plush. Since the main bear himself can't be a skin, it'd be nice to have a little reference to him as a backbling. A great idea for reactivity would be that other players can honk Freddy's nose, just like in the games. A more movie-relevant backbling would be Garrett's plan, but that might be a little too cruel, so I have two more ideas. Carl, or Mr. Cupcake, would be pretty fun. He could chomp his little teeth every elimination. Or maybe, since it's the second movie, you could make the music box a backbling and have the marionette pop their head out every time you get an elim. And perhaps you can see them peeping whenever you jump. Slicing on over to the pickaxes. Fortnite already has quite a few knives at this point, so it'd be pretty hard to make the yellow rabbit stick out. I suggest they take a page out of DBD's book and give him a pizza knife. Maybe add a little grease and pizza sauce and it would be pretty unique. Hopping on into the gliders, there's two ideas that come to mind. One once again is Garrett's plane. I'm so sorry Garrett, I did it to you twice. But another idea is the marionette. There's a few gliders that come to mind that replicate what I imagine it would look like, such as the puppet and the scarecrow gliders. I think having the marionette looming over you with strings attached to your limbs would be a perfect glider to round out this set. A little bonus would be an emote, but the knife wipe was already kinda taken by Ghostface, so the only idea I have for the emote would have to be the animatronics dance, perhaps with the music that they performed to in the first film. So there you have it, my idea for a Freddy's and Fortnite collaboration. Do you think I did good? Was there anything that you'd add or change? Feel free to mention it in the comments below. And if we aren't lucky enough to get the FNAF collab this year, we always have the third movie. Thank you all so much for watching. Please consider liking the video as it helps a bunch, and hey, maybe the next video won't take, 8 months. Keep being awesome and I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.